there, Andrew Jobling, the accidental author. Very, very excited to be here for another month and another interview. And my guest this month, my goodness, you're going to be inspired this month for many, many reasons. And firstly, we have the wonderful Steele Bishop with us. And before you see his very handsome face, I want to tell you a bit about Steele. We're celebrating the publication of Steele's very first book, only really in the last week or so, Wheels of Steel. And Steele Bishop has got an incredible history, athletics, cycling history, which I'll talk a little bit about in a second. But firstly, I just want to welcome Steele Bishop. Hello.
Hello, Andrew. Thank you for having me today.
Mate, you look at you with all your paraphernalia, all your trophies and your awards and your banners and your books. You, mate, are the epitome of success right now. So firstly, congratulations for your new book.
Thank you very much. It's so exciting to open up my first one last week. To be, as you say, a published author. Who would have thought someone that flunked English could write a book?
And that's a good, there's straight away, there's a pretty cool lesson there, isn't there? That you don't need to be a superstar at English, because I know what it's like, mate. I was the same, to be a published author. Now, let me just, I'm going to just do a very brief introduction, because otherwise the introduction could take 35 minutes. But just so people listening know who they're listening to, Steele Bishop is an incredibly successful sportsman. And if you have any interest in cycling, you will know that in 1983, just a few years ago now, Steele Bishop won the world championship for the 5,000 metre individual pursuit for professionals. So that's 83. So that's from the day that we're talking today. What's that, Steele?
36 years.
36 years ago. So not only is Steele just written this book, Wheels of Steel, but now, 36 years later, Steele is chasing another world championship, and this time the 2,000 metre pursuit in the Masters class. And he's got some pretty lofty goals, which I'll let him talk about. But my message, and firstly, I want to celebrate Steele's first book, and I think it's a wonderful achievement. But the thing about Steele that inspires me the most is that he just keeps on striving for more. He's always looking for the next goal, the next thing, and that's what keeps him looking so young and fit and fabulous. So again, Steele, welcome along.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm really, really just so excited about being a published author. But as you say, I've got some great goals in my sport. After 35 years not racing the track at all and just being a casual rider, I got inspired I got invited to come back and ride a Legends race 18 months ago. And I had 5 weeks training for that after 36 years and did okay. And I thought, this is okay. I got the bug back a little bit. And then the next race, then about 3 months later, I thought I'll go into another race. And there's a road race and I got dropped. And what hurt, there was 4 girls in there and they kept going. I got beaten by 4 girls and I just didn't have any racing. So I realised that I need to do some more work. But I come out a couple of weeks later and got another state title in the Criterium Championship, which was great. And then I said to the guy that actually got me to ride that Legends race, I said, what's the world record for my age group in the pursuit? About half an hour later, he texted me and said it was such and such. I thought, I can beat that. And that gave me the challenge. And so I wrote down some new goals and found a coach. I did a lot of research to get the right equipment, to get the right coach and the right team around me of people, of the medical, like in chiropractic and things like this, so that you can do it professionally. You can do something, you do it professionally. That's why you see the banner here. You've got to be professional about what you're doing. And so I'll have that at all the talks I do. Hopefully talks, which will be good. Anyway, what happened with the book actually tells my life from when I was born a Kalamunda boy right through to winning the world championships and how I got started and my first ride and all sorts of things. There's lots of messages all the way through for anyone that's wanting to, someone's got something in their life they haven't done, they've really wanted to do, whether it's a young person, a mature person, whether it's in sport, whether it's in business or just in life in general. Hopefully the book will give them the inspiration just to get started towards that goal. And that's what I'm hoping will happen with people, and to never, ever, ever give up.
Wonderful.
So what happened is, with the book, though, it finishes in the late 80s. And the publisher said, look, we need to bring this more current. So if you can come out and break the world record for your
No pressure.
Yeah, and that was going to be April this year. Coming up in 4 weeks' time, I've got the national championships in Brisbane for the age group, and my goal was to break it there. But then I said to my coach, I only had 9 weeks back on the track bike after 35 years off before the state championships started in December last year. And during that time, I said to my coach, I said, do you think we can break the world record at the States? He said, I think so. So we set that as the target so that we didn't have to wait another 4 months to get the book out. And I took 2.4 seconds off the world record at the state title. So
wow. So you broke a world record to get your book out at the start of 2019. That's what we call dedication. So let's go back a little bit. We won't go right back into your cycling career because there's a wonderful book that people can read and buy and find out details of how you as a young man got yourself to a world championship. But when did the idea to write a book come about? What inspired it, and what was it that helped you do this? Because I mean, writing a book is not, it looks easy enough, doesn't it? But it's actually not as easy as it looks. What was it that inspired you to write the book, and tell us a bit about that process?
Okay, it must have been 9 or 10 years ago. My lovely wife Sheila says to me, because I'm talking to her regularly about little stories of things that happened during my cycling, and she's had no idea of my career because I didn't know Sheila back when I was racing. And she said, look, you really need to put this on paper for future generations of my family. Weren't thinking of a book per se, just for family. A book for the family. And I said, yeah. No, I can't even spell, so so she said, here's a little dictaphone, a tape recorder. And she says, just talk into that when you want to, and I'll type it up. And so the next few months we did that, and we ended up with 5,000 words. And I thought, that's a lot, 5,000 words. I've arrived, And then, if it can, it collected dust on the computer for 6 years, just sat there. And it was really a chronological order of, I won the schoolboys title this year, then I went to this and I did that and went to the Olympics and Worlds. No stories in it. And then we're at a business meeting, and there was yourself sitting there, and Sheila, you were the speaker that day, and Sheila, unbeknownst to me, had a little chat to you and telling you what's happened. And you handed me your book, Accidental Author. And so I had a read of that. And I realised that, gee, if a football player that gets kicked in the head and spends most of the time on the ground, like literally on the ground, maybe I can do it too. So after reading that book, so we decided to hook up with you because you need a coach for anything if you want to be successful. And you're already successful at what you did in coaching and writing, getting people to write books. So we thought, yep, we locked in with you, did the modules. And what was great was it was all the same principles I used for my cycling, ended up with a focus board in front of me, which is, what do you want? Put it in front of you. And that fed my dream, basically. That focus board fed my dream. Every day I sit there and look at that before I wrote and read it all. And there's the power of the affirmations come in, and I'm using that now, the power of affirmations, big time. So we decided to do that. Now, after doing the modules, it took us 3 months to expand that 5,000 words out to 52,000 words. And we did that by, Sheila booked a week in Rottnest at one stage, and we went over there. I just went my ride in the morning and sat there all day and just on the balcony, overlooking the water, and typed. Yeah. And it flowed. And of course, having 17 scrapbooks helped me get the dates right and things like that, which is great. Next thing, we've got a book that's published.
You've got a book, and what I love about it, Steele, is it's much more than just now about events. It's now stories, and there's some great stories in it. Some hilarious stories of you as a kid and growing up, and some very powerful stories of the stuff that you went through. So it's an incredible book, Steele. You've done so well, and it just shows, doesn't it? I mean, I think the first message is, you've got to stop looking at yourself the way you see yourself, and believe that anything's possible. And as you said, get clear on it, get a coach, get into action, and get to work. And it's incredible what's possible. So it's very early stages, but I know there's going to be a lot of success with your book. I know you've got lots of things organised. You've got lots of media with publishers and book launches and all sorts of pretty cool stuff happening. And this is a pretty exciting time.
Yeah, it really is, Andrew. And what you just said a minute ago about is getting people around you that believe in you, and people you trust. And that happened when you read through the book. You'll find there's a few occasions there where it's other people saw my potential before me, and that took me to the next level or the next direction. And that's what's just happened with this book. We had a lot of trust in yourself, and you guided us to do something that I never thought was possible for me to do.
Yeah.
And that's happened again with my cycling now. Someone else has directing me to break this world record again, because it wasn't in my psychic 2 years ago to even race a bike again. Because if I'm going to race, I want to win. So that means training, a lot of training. And I've done that already. I don't need to prove anything, but now for some reason I've decided.
But you've got energy again. You've got a vision. You've got a focus. You've got a desire. And I think that's one of the key messages I want to get out today. And we were talking before we started recording this about this principle called the Everest principle, which is a very powerful principle. And the Everest principle basically says that most of the people that die in their pursuit of climbing Mount Everest die on the way down. And the reason they die on the way down is because they set the goal to get to the top, but they don't set the goal to get back to the bottom. Yeah, they have a goal, and you see this with people all the time. They set a goal to achieve something, but they don't have the next goal or the next vision or the next purpose. So therefore, they flounder. I mean, I've seen it as a personal trainer, people that want to lose weight for an event. Well, they lose weight for the event. After the event, they've got no goal. They put it all back on again. I mean, I've seen people, writing books that want to be a published author. They get a book and then that's it. It doesn't go anywhere. And I think one of the things that inspires me most about you, Steele, is that you are the epitome of the goal beyond the goal, the next goal. What's next for me? And that's why you look so good, and you've always got energy, and you're always positive, and you're always focused. So, mate, tell us a little bit about that. How did that develop with you, that idea of always wanting to set a new goal for you? And then, after you've broken another world record and you're a world champion again, what's next for Steele Bishop?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we have planned out lots of things. I mean, I'm coming out 66 years of age next month. So,
wow.
With this, we do a lot of travel, but this year we've curtailed the travel because this goal got to be done first. Then we've got a lot of travel after that. But you talked about goals, and getting the right goal is important now, and being specific about your goals. And in the book, people will see that on 2 occasions at Olympic level, world level, I had the wrong goals, and I achieved the goal I had, but it was just the wrong goals. And so important to have the right ones and have them written down is just so powerful. And because you'll see through the book, there's a picture I had on my wall as a kid, and I'm tingling now thinking about what happened from a 15-year-old kid to a 30-year-old man. All of that space in time, what actually happened just before the Worlds was so incredible about the power of what you put up on your fridge or on your wall to look at. I've always been goal oriented. I always wanted to win. Doesn't matter what I do, I want to win, but not aggressively. It's just I love to win.
Yeah.
But with my cycling now, I mean, for instance, I go up the track. I'm going to training shortly down the track. There's 15-year-olds to 35-year-olds I'm racing and training against. Now I go out on the track, nearly 66. I can tell you now, I do not even think of age. I just get out there. I think I'm 25, 30 again. But literally in my mind, that is me, that age. I'm out there, I'm racing these guys, and I perform with them. So age isn't a barrier at all. And this is a very physical sport. So when people say, oh, I'm getting old, yeah, that's in your head. How are you in your mental and physical state? Not saying, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. And would you say that, I mean, having always resetting goals for yourself, would you say that keeps you in that space? You know, like if you don't have a goal, you tend to not do as much. You start to feel your age. Whereas you, because you're always striving and you've got, and not saying that there aren't times where you don't chill out and relax, but to have another goal keeps you young, keeps you moving forward, and keeps life exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after the World Championships in October in Manchester, that's when my goal for cycling finishes as such. And then we've got travel. We have got so much travel already paid for and planned and done, organised for after that. And then we've got, I'll still ride a bike. I won't go to the same, I'll probably only train once a week on the track and still ride every day and go racing, but not at the same level, just for my fitness, because you've got to keep your body and mind healthy and fit. Because we want to live a long, long life. And it's so important you look after this and this. And we're going to do a lot of travel around Australia, things like that, after we get back next year. But still ride the bike. It's important for the fitness. But we've got a lot of other goals set and plans in place for the next years.
So tell me, Steele, what's the Steele Bishop purpose? What's the legacy that Steele Bishop wants to leave this world? What is it that keeps you going all the way to the very end? What are you leaving behind?
Oh, that's a very good question, Andrew.
I've thrown that one at you, mate, just to really see if I can get you stuck. I know you'll answer.
I've never thought of it like that. I love my grandkids and my children, and of course my wife, but I love spending time with them and giving them knowledge on life principles and things like that. I'd like to leave a legacy with them that they grow up. I mean, the parents have got that already, but the grandparents, people won't listen to their parents, but they'll listen to the grandparents.
It's true.
And of course, it's important that I tell those grandkids how good their parents are. That's important because no one else they're not listening to the parents, but they need to be edified, the parents, by someone that the kids trust and believe in. And so that's one side, that they're not going to be around us for a long time. They're going to be off doing their thing, but it's important in their earlier years to get that stability and learning into them. I suppose encouraging people. I like to encourage people all the time at cycling. I think I might go back into coaching and encouraging and people that they can do it. And maybe through more books, I can encourage people more with book writing. And
Absolutely.
We've already looked at a few different books.
Yep, I think there's lots more books inside of you, that's for sure. Yeah,
there's a couple we're looking at now. Well, I've already started bits and pieces, and that's how I started before. And then it's just putting it together once you've decided which direction you're going.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed writing. It's incredible. I really enjoyed spilling it out of my head onto paper. All those experiences and more.
It's almost like you're reliving it again too, isn't it? You actually go through the emotion of the success and the overcoming and the things that you achieved. It's really.
And when I went through their scrapbooks with Sheila, I thought, oh, I was pretty good because I was living it at the time, and you don't think about it.
It was just what you do.
You don't think yourself as anything different to what you are, but when years later you look back at it and go through them, and think, wow, I really did. I was pretty good.
That's amazing. Well, mate, listen, I'd love to talk to you for hours, but we're not going to talk for hours. What I do want to encourage everyone watching this is get your hands on Steele's book, Wheels of Steel. So Steele, if people want to buy your book, or they maybe want to talk to you about anything cycling related, or maybe get you to come and talk at a group or an organisation or something, how do they contact you? What's the best way for them to get to you?
steelebishop.com.au.
There it is, mate. He's prepared. This is one he prepared earlier.
Oh yeah, I prepared this one earlier. Yeah, and just go onto my website and you can contact me through there, and it goes through my author Steele Bishop email, and I can talk to you on email, and you can hook up by phone or whatever from there. But that's the best way to get on. You've got a lot of information on the site to check out. You can order books on the site, and contact me through there as well.
Wonderful. Mate, it's been so great talking to you. You are an absolute inspiration. I know you've inspired many, many people, and everyone that watches this is going to be inspired to set another goal. You know, keep setting goals, keep moving forward, keep that inspiration, stay young. That's the message I wanted you to portray today. You've done it beautifully. So, mate, I appreciate your time, and I know this book is going to be an enormous success. So congratulations with your new book, and all the best with everything you're doing.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you for your encouragement, belief, and all the help you've given us to bring it to a published book. We're very, very grateful. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. All right, mate. I'll see you.
See ya.